through, fumbling through, fumbling through, fumbling through, fumbling through.
How you doing, friends, faulty towers and full houses, and welcome to Fumble Through, a podcast that continually asks the question, did I do that? Once again, welcome back to the Table of Wonder deep in the dungeon of the Fumble Factory, where we entertain ourselves and hopefully you by playing out our imaginary adventures and talking rubbish. And if you want to join in with the discussion, here's the gibbering mouther himself, Lindsay.
The gibbering mouther is saying, please join us on Basefook and Flitter.
Oh, that was awesome. Look, it really has been an exciting few weeks here for both our characters and for us, but nothing gets us more excited than answering a nerve-wracking, brain-bending, underpants-soiling dicey question. If you have a dicey question suggestion or would just like to join in all the fun discussions, hit us up on our social media and our, what did you call it just before?
Basefook or Flitter.
Hit us up on our social media or find one of Luke's winged messenger monkeys and tie a ribbon around its foot. This week's dicey question is, if you were to make a fantasy role-playing sitcom, which characters would you have live in the same house? So imagine that you live in a block of units. You've got to get your best fantasy character from any place, genre, book, video game, whatever. Who do you think would be good in that place?
Oh,
What the fuck?
There's a lot of hurdles to get to the end point in this one, isn't there?
So we each pick somebody to be in the house?
Oh yeah, that's a good
that's
one.
a great one.
Yeah, okay.
I'll jump in first. For
I
this
think
one.
you're going to go the same one that I'm thinking.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'm
Are
gonna
we?
go.
We're going to pick one each.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might be two
Oh.
because I was going to say Mary and or Pippin.
Oh,
from
nice.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's not the same one I was
And
thinking.
they're
Yeah,
both
that's very good.
half-sized, so you know,
Yeah.
one room,
Yeah.
two guys.
Yeah.
There's a sitcom already
And a pizza place.
Okay.
Yeah.
and a cup.
Oh
No.
Okay,
Gotta
mine
make
works
it
with
weird.
this. I'm thinking Minsk and Boo from Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
Okay.
Minskin is
nice.
pet
That
hamster
would be
Boo.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? I'm actually unfamiliar, even though I have Funko Pops of them. I'm unfamiliar.
He is just a big, dumb... He's actually a ranger,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, he's just a big, dumb guy. He's got a pet hamster. Butt kicking for goodness!
Okay.
Go for the eyes, Boo.
Yeah.
Go for the eyes. Yeah, cool.
Brett, have you got any characters for our sitcom?
I'm trying to narrow down a large list in my head. When you first said it and you said fantasy person, I went to Joey Potter from Dawson's Creek because I've fantasized about her a lot.
Not that kind of fantasy. Not that kind of fantasy.
Now I'm reorienting my
Dawson's
targets.
Creep. Yeah.
I thought a lot about maybe Elminster from the fantasy of the Forgotten Realms. No? So,
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with Elminster, he's like one of the big wizards from the Forgotten Realms world. Elminster was once a female rogue and is now an old man.
You trying to be woke?
No, he's just a
Right.
really cool character.
He's a cool character.
Yeah, I'd also, like, I didn't think maybe we'd do one each. I thought of a group of people. So I was like Elminster and Tasselhoff
Well,
Burfoot.
I kind of have a really
And-
cool idea
Yeah,
to tie
go.
this all together after Brett gives us his character.
Well, Elminster's kind of Fizzband, which is where my
Mhm.
brain was going, a similar kind of thing.
Yep.
I wonder if I could put R2D2 in.
Oh, nice.
Oh, here we go. Generals and...
See, we don't even need to argue with him now. He does it himself.
Yep.
Today's dissing of Lindsay will be taken by Brett.
I didn't diss Lindsay today. I just didn't know who he said. Like, I'm really unfamiliar with those characters.
What were you saying, Lindsay, when...
Okay. So we take all these characters.
Yep.
But now they're kids in a school and the headmaster is a dungeon master from the D&D
From the role-playing
game.
From the cartoon.
Yep.
Although, yeah.
And there's a little unicorn.
So that assuming the fantasy block of flats is now the tavern
Mhm.
and your characters are
In Cheers.
It comes in
role-playing
pints.
role-playing characters,
Yeah.
what are their classes?
Well, as I said, mine's actually in a game and it's a ranger. So
Okay.
mine's easy.
Vigilantes, I think. Mine would be.
Oh, Mary and Pippin, the vigilantes.
Is it just one
Yeah.
person and
No,
his
they're
two
both-
egos
they're
are Mary
both-
and
they're
then
both
Pippin?
sidekicks. They're both the sidekicks. Nobody can make a decision between them.
And R2D2 is a barbarian.
He is. That's why he squirts oil all over the place. He gets angry and
I think he'd be a good rogue. He's the one that's always picking the locks and
Yeah.
hacking the computers and
Yeah, that's true.
How short would those movies be if they just stopped their security locks so R2-D2 couldn't hack into every ship and space station that they build?
All right. So, where we left it last week, you guys were back on patrol. Police Academy back in action. We had. Did you just try to Michael Winslow?
You know you failed. Yep.
What was that?
depends what he was trying to do. Let's not say he's failed
Yeah.
yet.
He made the sound of a wet fart.
Last thing I remember was we fell in a hole. So that was
So you guys had gone back on patrol. You had rested for the evening, and you were just about to head back to Sergeant Thunderback when all of a sudden a big hole erupted in the ground. The ground fell through. But you know what? Before we get to that, there's something that I'd love to be able to do right now. I just want to check in with you guys as players. It's been a while. Tomorrow's payday. You got 5 GP coming for you. What are you going to do? What are you going to?
5.
You got to spend this money. You guys have earned every cent.
I think we should be talking to Thunderback about a raise. If we're
Yeah.
the only guys on the beat now,
You
does
have
anyone
talked to him about a raise.
No, I think we need to
before.
talk to
right?
him a little bit more better than
I
that.
think it's now we have the collateral. Like, if we leave, he has no one on the beat. So now we have a lot of force behind us. And if not, I'll shove this fucking 5 GP up his.
Well, most people in this climate
He'll be asleep, you won't know.
would be happy just to have a job. And here you guys are, we're not getting paid enough for this shit. You've been doing it for 5 days. 5 GP is actually quite a good salary
So-
in this sound. But what are you going to spend your 5 GP on? What are you thinking of? Flopsy, your hard-earned toil, what's the reward?
Flopsy's going to save half of it because he's a good boy, and
Yep.
the other half will go on Hot Pockets.
Excellent. It's just a big tray of Hot Pockets.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. He might need a microwave put into the barracks or something like that.
What about you, Reg?
I think Reggie's probably going to save as much of it as he possibly can, so when he gets in the fighting pits, he can bet
Yeah.
on himself.
Yeah, Flopsy's kind of
Okay.
got some wages going to
Yeah.
lay down, yeah.
You don't want to buy yourself some new hand wraps or something cool, like a belt that says Reg Superstar?
I could get some new hand wraps, maybe with some.
You know what I have been looking at?
Mm.
I think I want a conch.
Oh, no. I know just the guy. I know just where you can get a conch from. Do you want a new one or a second-hand
One
one?
that's
'Cause
broken in.
I want with an inbuilt flare.
What about you, Miles?
I don't know. How much are hookers?
Jeez. That's very sexually aggressive.
It's just in his character, right?
Yeah,
That's
he's
what we've seen all
I
the
guess
long.
he is a teenage boy, isn't he?
Are you looking for a night job?
How old is he?
21.
Oh, he's 21. He should know better than that.
Yeah, but he grew up on a farm. He hasn't had, it's only been the cows.
I guess the bigger question is, how much is the apothecary after the hookers to get the itch away?
To be honest, 5 gold pieces isn't going to buy us much. I think the best thing is we go back to that pub where we were winning throwing axe competitions and just triple it.
Do you really think you'll
That-
be welcome
that
back
was
into?
coppers, yeah.
Do you really think after getting rid of
That was coppers.
but also after getting rid of the best helper in there?
Fights. Yeah.
Yeah, that that Jet's gonna let you back in there.
I don't know. Do they have Bitcoin?
Well, because of the rats.
Rat coin.
I think, if we're the only ones on the beat now, this is our opportunity to see if we can,
Hang on a second.
protection money from people.
Just to be clear, it takes...
so
Oh, fuck.
okay. So your response to the entire watch being corrupt is to just join them.
Yep.
Okay.
No,
we're
we're
not
not corrupt. We just want to make sure people are protected.
Yeah. We ain't doing anything wrong.
Fair
Okay.
day's work for a fair day's pay. That's what I say. It takes a day to walk across this city.
I have
We can't
hours.
protect
Two
all of
for
it.
me.
I do have a great idea. Housing is a very good market, right? Problem is, we do seem to get sucked through portals and end up elsewhere. So we need housing that can come with us. So
Okay.
like a cart,
Like on chicken legs.
caravan. Yes, a Baba Yaga situation.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought you were going to say, let's become house flippers. What we should do is we should buy real estate, do it up, put in a nice kitchen, mezzanine floor, deck on the
We
outside.
could be tapping into a whole
True.
new different
Or
fan base
a
if we
genre.
do that.
Better yet,
An amalgamation
Better
of
yet.
genres. What I need is some shales.
if we are going to keep getting pulled through portals, we just take out big loans from the bank before we go through a portal.
After feeling that familiar greasiness of a portal opening, You felt the very ground in front of you open. It shook, it rumbled. The very road fell through the portal. And even as you're looking, you can see a small goblin in the sewers down the bottom, an open tunnel. The goblin is reaching down, grabbing a companion that's fallen through the hole as if they were traveling through the sewers. You can see that there is both of these goblins are laden with packs, as if they are transporting some type of goods through these tunnels, and then this happened. You see the goblins both at the same time, that one of them drags the other one up. They get into the tunnel. He finds his feet. They both turn around, their eyes open widely. And just as that happened, one of them drops his pack and they both run deeper into the tunnels, into the darkness, as all of a sudden a geyser shoots straight out of the hole up about 60 feet of just mud. Mud just flies everywhere. It covers the street. It covers the buildings. It forms a giant puddle of about 60 feet in area, and it's thick, almost like it's a pond of mud that seeps through there. And just on the other side of that mud pond, you can see a laden backpack that's all muddy.
Can I just confirm that it is indeed just mud?
You taste it?
No.
It doesn't smell
Willy
nice.
Wonka.
It smells
Willy
fetid.
Wonka.
It smells gross, like
Right.
a
But
pond of mud
it
will.
isn't conjuring memories for little Reg of a crocodile. No?
No. It certainly smells different
I'm
to the
getting
sewers. at the
triggered here,
moment.
right?
Yeah. You see two sets of eyes.
Yeah. Where's my flare?
Big teeth.
I'm assuming we were having that conversation about what we're spending our money on before this opened up.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
you're walking down.
Reg, is the portal still there?
It seemed like it maybe was under the street level, and as it opened, the very street itself fell through it. You can still feel the greasiness, like the portal's open, but you can't see it.
Oh,
You think it might be where this mud's come from.
Reg, you're the nimblest of us. Why don't you go try and grab that pack down there?
It's like 60 feet across a hole. If I try and go across that, I'm going to go down the hole, right? Aren't you the one that can walk up walls?
So can you. That's a good point, though. Let's go. Is there a way around the hole?
I don't have those boots.
Or do we have to kind of like...
Okay, so you find yourselves inside a street. It's a T intersection that you are walking towards, and it is basically from the end of the T intersection that you find the mud coming up from. So the T intersection has a little drain. That's where the floor fell out of it, and now there is about 60 foot of mud that is
Is
just
the
sitting there.
backpack being blasted out of the hole, or is it still in the hole?
The backpack has been blasted out of the hole to the far side.
So we need to get around this hole.
Yeah, and there's no way. The entire section going into that T area is filled with mud.
So the actual drainage capacity of the street that's
It
there is
doesn't-
really not coping
it
with
doesn't seem to be
Okay.
eking away. As a matter of fact, you think that mud might be, ankle deep at least, moving forward, but it is covering the entire street. So if you think about the T, it is that entire cross section of the T is filled with mud.
And we still feel the greasiness.
You still feel the greasiness and that pull from your rings, from the little emblems and symbols that are
it. So
on
little Reg is
upon
going to
you.
draw his weapon out just in case,
Yeah.
because I don't like the feeling that this,
Miles
this
cast,
usually ends badly when when I get greased.
Miles cast mage armor on himself.
Okay.
Oh, you're going right into
Flopsy's
it.
going to try poor Fentantalus Distalus to try and remove the portal,
Yep.
as has happened previously.
You kind of do that. You feel like you might have to be close to the portal as you have before.
Yep.
You've connected almost with that portal before you've gotten it shut.
Okay. And then Flopsy's going to get out some rope and ask Reg for some rope as well.
Cool. Yep.
How far away is the bat, do you reckon?
From where you are probably looking at, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85 feet away.
85 feet. Hey, Miles, have you got some rope too?
Yes.
Great. So he's going to tie the ropes together.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to try and mage hand the end of the rope over through the backpack handle and back to
Okay,
us.
the backpack itself is coated in mud. So you can just see a lump that's there. It's been shot out of the geyser.
Yeah.
You saw it get shot out of the geyser and land on the floor.
Right.
but it's coated in mud, so you can't actually find
a hook or
yeah,
loophole.
it's just a muddy pile at this
Yeah,
point in
right.
time.
Okay.
So does Mage Hand, you can't just grab it with the
We
Mage
could
Hand?
get 5 pounds of something, but it's like a hand picking it up. So I've got to find something
So
to
it
grab
can't
it
do
by.
anything dexterous. It can't like tie
Not-
the rope
Not
around.
fine detail.
Okay.
Grab something. Probably is the most
If
dexterous.
I
it'll
put a
be.
shuriken on the end of the rope, will it stab it into the bag? To then...
Probably not.
Okay, cool.
Looking at that dickhead, no.
No.
Let's not make a bridge moment out of a pile of mud. I'm a beet farmer. Do you think I'm afraid of a bit of dirt?
No,
Do you remember what I looked like when you first met me,
that's true.
Reg?
Sure.
If I die, you can have Tippy.
Off you go then, Miles. No problem.
I start walking towards the very edge of the mud.
Why don't you take this bit of rope?
I will, yes. I tie the rope around myself. Can you imagine anyone looking out the window, right? Anyone looking out their window would just see like mud everywhere, and they see 3 policemen, one with a rope tied around himself, just walking through what is about to
Hey,
be
guys,
like
you-
ankle
well,
deep
there-
mud.
Of all the circumstances we've been faced in this,
But-
you think this is the strangest one that people would look out the window at?
Well, they're at the moment they can't look out their windows because they're splattered in mud.
True.
The people on the street are splattered in mud. Like people have moved away from this.
Oh, there
They're-
are people around.
Yeah,
still?
yeah, there are definitely people around. You're in. It's like early evening. Like it's.
Can we not get people to go and get it for us? We're the law. No? Okay, that was worth a shot.
Carry on. Go about your business. This is how you fish for goblins. You tie a human to the end of a rope and you dangle it into a mud pile.
I'm just going to approach the very edge of the mud.
From the edge of the mud, you're still about, well, let's say 45 feet away, 10, 20, 30, 45 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to step into like the mud and just kind of like try and slowly edge around the edge as much as
As
I
soon as
can.
you step onto the mud, you knew this was going to
Yeah.
happen. You knew what was happening here. As you approach the pool of mud, little bubbles kind of form in the very center where you think the hole is. Little
Excuse
blop,
me.
blop, blop kind of bubbles erupt from there. And then all of a sudden, forming from the mud, you see a stocky humanoid that is seemingly composed entirely of mud. It's got long, thick arms and bandy legs. Its head's round and it's featureless. And it kind of looks, oh, look, I've got a little picture here. It kind of looks like a globby creature with red, angry eyes. How would you describe that, Brett?
It's like Swamp Thing, but made of mud.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Right.
For the listeners at home, I just
Swamp Thing is kind of made of mud and
Yeah.
green stuff, right?
Well,
Less
Technically-
swamp.
technically that's Clayface from Batman.
Yeah.
that's
Pretty
a
much
picture of Clayface
That's
from
all I was
Batman.
going to say.
Yeah. So yes, so you see this thing rise up out of the mud, and initiatives, please. Fuck me.
Using
Oh, shit.
your sticks dice there, Justin.
Oh, look, Kyle, I appreciate these dice a lot, except for when they roll what they just rolled, which was a 1.
Good work, Kyle.
Thank you, Carl.
Love you, Kyle.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear these dice rolls. Initiative has been rolled, and I would just like to say, look, Kyle, I am rolling these dice that you gave me. They are fantastic. And look, can I just say, I think you're on the player's side because I just rolled really, really badly. So let's start with Flopsy. What did you get?
I've got a 2.3, which is a 5.3. I think is
A 5.3.
5.3.
Sorry.
Okay. Reg, what did you get?
So when you do the point, is that your initiative or your dex? Shelley?
Initiative modifier.
Okay, so I got a 26.6.
A
You rolled
26.6.
it.
I rolled
So
a
you
20.
rolled a natural
Natural
20.
20.
Yeah, nice. Miles,
I too had a 2 in my number.
I got a 16.3.
a 16.3. And I'll just give you a little bit of an insight of what you're about to face here. I rolled a 1.0.
Yeah, because this
You
is-
are number one.
This is the bit where he lulls us into
Yeah.
a false sense of
I've got a
security.
feeling that one of you might be Kyle in disguise, and you sent me some weighted dice so that I have to deal with this stuff. Thank you, Kyle. I love the present. All right, starting at the very top of this round, as Miles has walked into the mud pile, you've seen blop, 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 growing out of the mud this insanely gross poo creature. Reg, what are you going to do?
So how far away is it from me?
From you, it is currently how far back from the mud pile do you think that you would be?
Oh, I was probably around about 15, maybe 20 feet away from the edge of the web pile because it was. Yeah.
Okay, so if
Because,
you're
like I said, I was triggered.
the,
You know,
mu-
it was
the
like,
mud pile, it's erupted from the very center of the mud pile, right in the middle of it's like a 60-foot, like where the geyser has flown out. It's a 60-foot diameter, so it's a 30-foot radius. Whatever distance away from the edge of the mud you are, that's the distance from this creature at the moment. So you know that Miles has just stepped in that first 5 foot, so he's 25 feet away from this creature. How far away from the mud are you?
15.
Okay, so you're about the 45 foot.
Okay,
away.
cool. So yeah, Reggie's like, Miles, get out of there. Flopsy, yank him out. And then I'll use my 2 move actions to retrieve my crossbow and load it.
Yeah, so you pull your crossbow out, you
Yep,
load it.
Load it, yep.
Excellent. Miles, what are you going to be doing?
Miles is going to go, Reggie, he's got skinny legs. Go for the legs. Sweep the legs. And he's going to cast Misfortune Hex on this mud golem-y thing.
Okay.
So I need a will save.
Oh, no.
That's a will save, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's a will save of 0 or plus 0, and I rolled a 2.
I misread that look then, Justin. I looked like,
Yeah, you thought it was going to be a
you're
bad
fucked.
roll. No, no, definitely not.
I'm going to move then, take my move action and move out of the mud pile. Is it difficult terrain?
No, not to get out of the mud pile. So when you're in the mud, it's a little slippery and slick, but you're in the very edges of it. So
Yep.
think of it like the ocean.
Yep.
It's going to get deeper and deeper as you get
Okay.
closer to where the floor was, because it was a natural flow into a grate going into the sewers.
Cool. So I'm kind of like off to the side, but still like 1 step behind him.
All right, you move 20 foot back. Flopsy, what is your go? What are you going to do?
Flopsy would like to do a knowledge check on this creature, please.
Sure, go for it. That would be your knowledge planes, please, Brett.
19. Hang on. 21.
Oh, do you think that this is something called a mud man? You know a couple of things about this.
I could have said that.
Mudmen are elemental in nature, so they know elemental tactics. You know that a man can engulf a person, so they're quite renowned for getting people and sucking them into their muddy interiors and keeping them engulfed in that muddy interior. You also know this, and this is from your magic study, you know that these things have a magical vulnerability to dispel magic.
Do you have Dispel Magic?
I don't even know what that is.
Great. Not the spell magic. Dispel magic.
What are you going to do, Flopsy?
Flopsy is going to throw the rope at the floor.
Yep.
Move forward.
Mhm.
Pull a bomb. Throw it.
Okay, so you move up to the edge of the pond, or are you moving into the pond?
Just to the edge.
Okay, so you move to the edge. You're 30 feet away from this thing.
Do we know it's hostile?
Yep, and you throw a bomb. Roll your dice.
Hang on a second. I need to respond to
Flopsy!
Luke. Have you ever been hostile to me? You've received some bomb damage.
That's true. Everybody
enough.
receives some bomb damage.
I'll stop playing your character, right?
Yeah.
30 feet away?
Yep.
12 to hit.
12 to hit. That's a touch attack, I believe.
I believe so.
Meets it, beats it.
That is 10 points of fire damage.
Shit.
10 points of fire
What the
damage.
hell?
You see this bomb go poof and hit the creature. It kind of solidifies a little bit where it hits it as it cooks the mud and turns
Mud
it
cake.
into a little bit of mud cake or clay. And parts of it fall off, but you don't think it did as much damage as it probably should have done.
I would have thought fire would have been really good.
You thought wrong.
Yeah.
It's now
Did
brick
you, with your knowledge
creature,
check,
not
did you
mud
find out any
creature.
weaknesses or not?
Weak to Dispel Magic. The
Right,
spell
Right.
is a brick creature now. Well,
No, it's those bits fall. So these hardened plates move onto it and it just falls off. The creature then starts and it starts to move and meander towards you. It kind of floats through the mud. It doesn't even walk, like its legs move and it just floats like this glob of gloop that is in front of you. It stops about 15 feet away from the edge of the pool and it just throws at you, Flopsy, because you're the closest target, a sticky gloop of mud. A mud bomb comes flying at you for a touch attack of 9.
I'm checking.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so a mud glob just flies straight past you, lands on the floor next to you. You can see that it's quite sticky. It's not like normal mud, and it's quite thick. It's not viscous like this creature looks. So it's like a monkey throwing poop at this point in time. And that leads us into round number 2. Reg, what are you going to be doing?
So Reg is going to fire a shot at the globulous mass with his light crossbow. Does a 14 hit?
A 14 misses this
Ooh.
particular creature. Your arrow seems to hit it, and its natural armor just sucks it, and it sucks into it. You don't think you've hit the center of mass.
Okay,
from
cool.
it, and the
So-
arrow kind of falls to the floor covered in mud.
Okay, Reg will reload his crossbow.
Mm-hmm. Miles, what are you going to do?
Okay, so I 5-foot step
Mm-hmm.
and I cackle,
Okay.
and then I'm right next to Reg still.
You're behind me, yeah.
I reach out, touch, and give you guidance.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, may the blessings of Grundadar be upon you.
Peace, man.
He gets
I slip a
guidance.
mushroom into your pocket. That's how I do it.
All of a sudden, guys, dashing from the side of the street, a little bit splattered in mud, comes a figure in a form-fitting red coat and a high collar. It's a Napoleonic cut, this red coat. You see its riding pants get splattered with mud as it starts to move in towards this mud creature. You can see long white hair flowing from the side as its elven ears come out from the back. And with a flourish, a rapier is produced, moving straight at the mud creature. And you hear this. Sacre bleu! I challenge you, foul beast! You stink like a pig! And then all of a sudden, the rapier starts and it attempts to hit this mud creature. The rapier rings true, doing damage. And you see it spike into the mud creature and spike back out. Brett, can you do me a favor right now and roll me a d6?
Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just moving off that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Does it look like Decath?
It does look like Decath.
Fuck. Roll a 3.
Okay, perfect. So this damage starts, so this rapier just goes straight into the mud creature. This person is right next to this creature, back turned. You can't see their face at all, but you can see this flowing white hair. Red coat. You've seen this cut of this coat before.
Hang on a second. I just
Yeah.
need to add in a movement here. This is very unexpected. And I feel like I'm playing my character right now.
Fucking what? Okay.
Right.
Decath's getting some splash damage.
Welcome back.
Flopsy, it's your go.
Flopsy wants to do a perception check to see if that is Decath. What is it? Is it not? What's going on?
You're looking at it. It looks like Decath. It's the same height as Decath. The hair's the same color as Decath's. It's
Sounds
clear-
like Decath.
yeah.
Same mannerisms as Decath.
it's
same
clearly got elven
clothes, same
ears.
weapons.
Yep. Just make a perception check.
Cool. 24.
You kind of double take at the moment. There's mud there, and you're like, "Oh, it just doesn't." It looks just like Decath, but it moves slightly differently.
It's a little bit off.
Yeah, it's a little bit off,
Right. And it's in base to base with the mud
and
creature.
it is in base to base between you and it, about 5 foot away from you, because the creature was about 10 foot away from you. Is this person?
Can I see a firearm on its tip?
You can't,
on the
because the
elven
back,
hip?
there's a
Yeah,
coat in the
coat
way,
over there.
back turned. You just saw like you can see the sheath of the rapier coming out from the back of the coat. What are you going to do? Just bomb them both. Welcome back, Dad.
Flopsy's going to move back behind his compatriots and start casting a spell. And that spell is Magic Missile. So 4 + 1, I think it is. 5 points of damage.
What is your magic missile? What shape is it in?
Tears. It's a red dart.
So a red dart flies into this creature. Again, it hits true, and you see a splatter of mud come out of it. The enemy looks at this creature that's in front of it. It steps back from that creature. It moves probably about 20 feet away from the person in the red coat. The person in the red coat gets an attack against it. Again, this rapier flies into it. Luke, can you please roll a d6 for the damage of this rapier?
2.
Again, the rapier goes straight into the mud, flicks some mud out, and with a flourish, the mud is flicked off the edge of the sword as this creature moves backwards. The creature then looks at the person that's in front of it, and it rolls twice. I'm going to use my new dice with the little dice inside it because it's getting bad. That was a re-roll. I rolled 2 natural 20s then, but the first roll also had a natural 1.
It really is a roller coaster ride, isn't it?
It really is a roller coaster ride. And again, this glob flies off to the side so it doesn't ring true to this elven creature that's in front of you. Bring us back to the top. Round number 3. Little Reg, what are you going to do?
Seeing that, I'm thinking it is the calf. I'm going to drop my crossbow, draw Kama, and I'm going to charge.
So you move in. You can't actually charge because the mud's going to impede you for the charge. You can move in and attack.
All right, cool.
It's not going to stop your movement,
cool.
but it is, it's enough of a terrain
Move up to
issue that you can't charge.
Cool. That is a 20.
Do you have the movement for that? Are you
How far away is it?
Well, aren't you 15 foot away from the edge of the mud pool? I don't want to ruin
No, you're right. No, I was
your joy here.
Yeah.
So that would make it somewhere in the vicinity of 35 feet away from you.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to make that, am I? All right, I'll spend the round then advancing into what will be a flanking position eventually.
Okay, so you start moving around
Yep.
the mud creature.
Damn it, that was a fucking 17 I rolled then.
Now you know how I feel. Miles, what are you going to do?
Okay, so Miles is going to move forward to keep the creature within 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fleeing, did it look like?
No,
Or is it
move
just-
backwards so I
okay.
could squirt mud at.
Okay. He's gonna move 20 feet forward, drawing his gas bow as he does. He's gonna cackle
Uh-huh.
to extend the hex.
Yep.
And he's gonna take a shot at it with the gas bow.
Okay.
Ooh. Now, is it in melee with
It is not in melee with anyone at the moment.
I would like to say about 15 feet away from this mud creature.
Okay, so you move up almost behind this elven creature.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe off to the side so I get a clear shot with
Yep.
my bow. And then I shoot at it with a 17 to hit.
A 17 meets it armor class.
That's 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage. Again, this bolt flies into it, and you don't think that the damage actually goes through into the actual creature itself
At all.
at all.
Oof.
The elf that's in front of you takes 2 steps forwards and again flourishes that rapier. I might get one of you guys to roll this because this is a friend of, well, so far they are in there.
I'll
And
do
you
it.
hear it, die, you dog.
Oof. It's because it's not a the Cath themed dice. That's the problem.
Right.
So I rolled an 8.
Yeah, the rapier moves and it kind of glances off the edge of the mud, but again, some mud flicks and nothing happens. Flopsy, it's your go.
Flopsy's going to move up to the edge of the pit within 35 feet of the creature, and I'm going to Ray of Frost it.
Sure.
Ooh.
We've tried fire, now try ice.
Baby.
Touch attack, range touch attack of 20.
And that's firing into melee. Do you have anything that gives you bonuses for firing into melee, or is that with a negative?
I've got point blank shot,
Yep.
so that plus 1, 21, minus 4, right?
Yep.
17.
See his
Touch.
face then? It broke. He had to do up maths and down maths and it broke. A 17 hits true.
1d3, high low. 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage as ice
It's cold.
smacks into it.
Does it react at all?
It does. You think that got through. You think that the magic of that ice froze it a little bit and you see the mud solidify into an icicle that comes off. It's probably got this solid icicle on the end of its hand now that's going to use to probably drive through the eye of Reg or Miles or this elven creature that's sitting here. And it is its go. With something that is right in front of it, you see the creature take a step forward. As a standard action, the mud creature can hurl itself at any creature within 10 feet. It needs to succeed in a touch attack. So we're going to roll that
Where is it
Twice.
stepping towards?
towards the elf.
Okay,
You're going to
cool.
roll it twice.
See the joy in his face just drain then.
I had someone say to me this week on socials, like, your character's cool, but he doesn't do anything. He just does the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, He does a lot by doing the same thing.
Yeah, like remember when I
It was.
smashing you with skeletons? That
Good
was really
times.
fun.
Good times.
If it succeeds on the touch attack, which it does not.
This is the engulfing thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
as you see it open up, you see this creature's form almost split in two. It opens into a large kind of enveloping mud thing, and it moves forward. The elf just steps to the side, and this mud creature misses entirely. That's its go, done. We move to the top of the round. Reg, what are you going to do? You can probably from this point move into a flanking position.
Yeah, yes. So, but I'm not going to actually move up to base because having seen a lot of the attacks going in and the ineffective mundane weapons or appearing to be ineffective mundane weapons and the successful ice shard that came from
Sure.
Flopsy, Little Reg is going to cast magic weapon on his karma.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So you spend the standard
Yep.
action. Are you going to do a move action at this point, or are you going
I'm
to
going to continue to move myself into a favorable position ready for basically the charge.
So you're about 5 foot away. Again, you can't charge, but you can move
Well,
in
yeah.
to action.
Yeah, to get there comfortably.
Okay, do you want to be within a 5 foot step of it? Do you want to be a move action away? How far away?
I'm
do you
going to
wanna
be a move action away.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
move into a position where the next move gets you
Yep.
into a flanking
Correct.
position. That brings us to Miles. Miles, you are currently away from the creature, I think about 15 feet.
Miles is going to cackle. First off, well, might as well go in for it. And he's going to realize he hasn't tried sleeping it yet. So he's going to go in and take a sleep strike.
So you're going to move up to it?
I'm going to move up to it.
Yep.
And have a swing at it. Ooh. That is a 15 to hit.
Okay, your swing flies wide. It's not even there when you go. You almost see the mud move backwards in its goopy goopness. It moves out of the way, and where your fist connects, it just all the mud seems to move away from your fist, and you swing wide, hitting the elf, falling asleep.
Oh dear.
Oh, shit.
It does give you the first chance to actually, as you're side by side with this elven creature holding the rapier, you look sideways, and for the first time, you see it's a girl.
Oh, easy, Miles.
Yeah,
Oh, hello.
it's a half elven girl.
Hello. Miles McCarthy at your service.
Do not talk to me right now. And you can see her, she puts her rapier out, and again, she goes to slice at this. Brett, can you roll an attack roll for me, please?
Yes.
And
12.
12 is not enough. Again, she slips on the mud a little bit, and you can see her angry, and she goes, "You are as dumb as a dog. Get out of my way." And she looks at that, she says, "Get out of my way" to you, Miles.
Oh, she's distracted by my beauty.
Flopsy, what are you going to do?
I wonder if she needs a nicotine patch with that voice. Heavy smoker, I think.
Maybe she worked in the mines.
Yeah, maybe. She's a miner. Cool.
Awkward silence.
Flopsy's going to pull an alchemist fire out of his bag and
Mhm.
throw it at the creature.
Okay.
This is a shitty ranged touch attack of, 12 to touch.
A 12 touch attack.
Sorry, 13 to touch.
A 13 touch attack smacks into the creature. The flask of alchemist fire flicks open, doing 1d6 of damage to the creature
2 points
itself.
of damage to the creature.
2 points of damage, and everybody else around it takes 1 point. You see this elf character recoil, turns around, and again, for the first time, you see this female form look at you with hatred in its eyes and say, "Do not do that! I am in the middle of a duel."
Pardonnez-moi, madame.
Yes, yeah, that's Flopsy. He does that often quite a bit. You'll
Shut
get
up!
used to it.
I barely cinched you.
Be still my beating heart.
So you take 1 point of damage as well, please, Miles.
Yep.
That gets us to the enemy. The enemy, looking at both of the people that are in front of it, pulls out 2 kind of appendages. Out from each one grows a ball with sticks that kind of stick out from it, like mud with rocks and sticks coming out. And from 2 kind of flails almost with balls at the end, one of them goes towards you, Miles, and one of them goes towards this elven creature
I regret
that
my
is in
choices.
front. Oh, that is not bad, even with the rolling twice. The first one, which goes towards you, Miles, that is going to be... Oh, the lowest there is a 20 to hit you.
Fucking hell.
I assume that hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that hits.
And that does 5 points of damage. And on the female elf, it also hits. And you can see her take a big clump of damage as this big mud just goes clonk and hits inside of her. You've both got mud sticking to you from the impact zone, and it's almost caking up in front of you. Even when you are like looking down at it, you can see it's so thick that if this was in front of your body or around your body, you would not be able to move very well, as it almost hardens up immediately. Reg, what are you going to do?
Okay, so Reg seeing that and obviously realizing the pressure's on is going to move up and into that flanking position.
Yep.
And attack.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, that wasn't the roll. I should have left that. That was a 20. Fuck. Oh, well, that'll do. So let me just do some quick maths.
Mhm.
Quick math.
25 to hit.
Okay, Reg, you don't get a flanking bonus. So this creature, being a globulous mass, is unable to be flanked.
So 23 to hit.
23 hits.
Do I still get the precision damage?
You do not.
Fucking, can you stop doing encounters? It totally fucking fucks my character.
Which level?
The cleric version of you's really
You
good.
just
here.
keep cackling, right? I'll do the fucking real work here. Oh, fuck off. That's 2 points of damage.
But it's
2
a
points.
magic weapon, right?
Yes, it is a magic weapon.
Okay, 2 points of damage slices into this thing. Again, the mud cakes over your weapon, and you can see that the sharp edge of your sickle
Karma.
of the karma gets coated in a bit of mud as your damage seems to go through.
I was hoping to roll a d4 and a d6 and get the +1 on there.
Yep.
Just for the listeners at home, what that would have been.
Yeah. How does it feel when that happens to you? How does it feel when
Denied the roll.
You've put all this time and effort into creating a character, and then someone comes along and fucking does shit that fucks with your character, and then you have to roll twice and take the worst.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not, I've designed 3 characters.
I think it sounds pretty cool.
Okay, that brings us to Miles. Miles, you're base to base with this mofo.
Miles is going to laugh and goes, "Okay, I'll leave it to you, lass." And he's going to take a 5-foot step back.
Yep.
And he's going to cast Cure Moderate Wounds on himself.
Okay, sure. Boom. So Miles casts Cure Moderate Wounds on himself.
10 points of healing.
Miles casts it. 10 points of healing comes into him. You see his chest kind of uncave itself a little bit as it's been caved in. The elven creature also looks at you and says, "I shall kill your creature." And
Thank you, that'd be lovely.
with the rapier again, can you roll a d20 for me, please, Miles?
Drinks will be on me after you do it. Natty 11.
A natty 11. Again, the rapier does not find purchase in this mud creature's hide. Flopsy.
So that creature didn't spend the full round trying to put the fire out that the alchemist fire engulfed it in.
Nope.
It takes another 4 points of fire
Oh,
damage.
Yeah, boy.
As Flopsy's looking for the portal.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find
You
a
think the
place
portal's under the mud?
Okay. It's impossible to get rid of this portal if it's under I'm not going in there. It's filthy. And Flopsy will do another Ray of Frost against the creature.
Sure.
Natural 19.
I believe that's going to be a
It's going to
hit.
hit for 2 points of damage.
Okay. Again, you see a little bit of frost come out through the mud, and it hardens up around it. The enemies go from 5 foot away. The enemy looks at you, Miles, and it casts another glob of mud your way, and that is this isn't bad. This is a touch attack, Miles. That's going to be 14.
Miss.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
By 1.
Don't tell him that.
Let me-
That is the one
I
advantage, I
just
suppose,
confirm.
when you have really low decks, is that your armor class isn't going to shift much for a touch attack.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so that this glob of badness comes flying for you, and again, it's that sticky mud that you think if it hits you, it's gonna cake you and do some bad mojo. Reg, we're on round number 5, I believe.
Okay, so I'm going to flurry.
Mm-hmm.
The first hit is a 21.
Hit.
Where did my D4 go? Oh, there it's hiding. For 2 points of damage. I'm not liking this D4. And the second one won't hit.
And the second one doesn't hit. So you're
No.
still using your karmas?
Yes.
So your karmas find purchase. The first of your karmas hits into the creature. It slices the creature, and a big chunk of mud again falls off. Like you almost cut a big flank of beef or like if it had a haunch, you slice straight through it, and it is damaged severely from your attack. Miles, what are you going to do?
So, well, I mean, I don't know much about mudman anatomy.
Physiology?
Does it
No,
look-
you can't tell.
Can't tell?
You can't tell.
Okay. I guess I will. First off, I'll cackle, and then I will take a step to the side so I don't have the elvish lady in the way, and then I'm going to cast Burning Hands.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to roll a reflex save versus your. So that is a reflex. Oh, I've got to roll fucking twice. Fuck.
Oh, gee.
Okay, he fails his reflex save. How much damage does he take from
8
this
points
pile
of fire
fire?
damage.
With 8 points of fire,
Oh.
you see it harden in the middle. It
Yeah.
cracks, and the whole top of it just goes and falls onto the floor, and it melds all the way back
Nice,
into the
nice.
mud itself. And you are stuck there, standing in a pool of mud. The pool of mud is still there, bubbling away, but it's about that time that even Flopsy at the edge, you can see that it is receding somewhat. It's not receding
Right.
fast, but you can see that it's moved probably a couple of inches or centimeters. There's that dried mud around the edges of it.
The tide is going out.
What did you do that for? I had clearly challenged it.
Had you?
Sacre bleu! These people do nothing. And she flicks her rapier around and puts it straight back into the sheath.
Sorry, miss, what is your name? You sound very familiar with a friend of ours.
She looks at you and she says, I am Seloni.
Saloni.
And who might you be?
I am Marshal Miles McCarthy at your service.
You are a marshal.
Yeah, Marshal of the Night's Watch.
Oh, you are just watchmen.
I mean,
And what
we
about-
are the highest watchman on service.
What about you, short stuff?
I'm Private Parts.
Your name is Private Parts? This is your name,
That was too
Private
easy.
Parts. This is your name, Private Parts.
I'm Little Reg. Just Reg.
I'm sorry. Are you taking the piss? Is this what you do?
I mean,
I always thought the watch was incompetent. You are really making sure that that is reinforced in my mind.
Madam, may I ask, is your last name Pavar?
Where did you know that name?
An old friend of mine from a life long ago.
She looks at you and her eyes kind of squint at that point, and she puts her hand on the hilt of her rapier and she says, tell me where you know that name from.
I knew a man once, an elf once. He had just set out from the elvish cities to make his name. He was a swashbuckler, quite the horse rider, as I recall. He gave his life so that we may live. His name was Decath, and you remind me a lot of him.
Her face, when you say the word Decath, changes somewhat, and her eyebrows kind of come down into a furrow. And she looks at you, and you see a visible reaction to when you say that name. And then she says, we'd better clean this up.
Madam, it is a pleasure to meet you, and more discussion shall be had when this mess has been cleaned.
why are we cleaning up
There's
mud?
there's a portal under here, and we know what comes from that.
Do
Oh.
we still feel the greasy feeling?
You still feel the greasy feeling.
I move over.
And if you're looking for that pool, it's the center of the pool is where you get pulled into.
I would like to make my way around the edge and find that bag that we saw.
It's right next to the very middle of the pool.
All right.
It's in the center of the pool. It was like 5 foot away from where this creature came up.
Miles, will you grab the bag? Reggie, grab that rope. I'll grab the other end of it, just in case.
I mean, I need you for the ring, don't I, to shut it off?
I'll shut the portal if you grab the bag first, but what we don't want is that bag getting sucked through the portal.
Okay. Right. What are the words again, Flopsy?
I'll do it. You grab the bag.
Okay.
Coming.
Okay. I will move up
I'll
and
get the rope. Yep.
grab the bag.
Madam, you might want to step back.
What are you doing?
We are going to close this portal.
You can see that she's at this point pulled out like a little compass. And she's kind of looking into the compass, and you're looking at her, and she's kind of looking a little bit furrowed brow at this compass, muttering, "This does not seem right."
Do I recognize that compass?
You think you've seen a compass like this before? Just make an intelligence check for me.
Oh,
please.
cool. Yep. That is a 10.
A 10.
I think I know where I
yeah,
recognize this
you've
compass.
seen something like this before, but you've never. It just doesn't.
A little off.
Yeah, you might need to examine it. Maybe you think it's in your brain, but you don't know where it's from. So,
Sorry, do you mean he's never? He thinks he's seen a compass before,
No,
or
he's-
a compass like that?
You know when there's a word just out of reach,
Yeah.
it's like that. He's
Kit.
he's close to it, but he's kind of looking at it. He's like, oh, I've seen something like that before, and I don't remember where. I don't remember what it is, but I know that I know that.
Can I make that
kind
as
of
well?
thing.
Because I think I remember as a player where we saw this compass.
Okay,
That's a 21
21 knowledge check.
intelligence check.
Yep. So an intelligence check. You kind of think that it might be a Pathfinder's compass.
And then Flopsy's going to move to the center of the pool and say, Porphantalus distalis.
Okay, you move to the center of the pool, Flopsy. Just make a reflex save for me.
You're on the rope, right? You're on the rope. You're on the rope.
22.
A 22. You kind of move your foot towards the edge as you get to the deep part where the portal cut through the floor itself. That isn't the foot deep that the rest of the mud is, and you catch yourself just before you fall into the mud. You reach down into the mud, you say Porphantalus, and the mud kind of stops bubbling and growing, and you can hear it oozing into the sewer system below.
The greasy feeling
And
disappears.
the greasy feeling definitely disappears.
Well, that could have been bad. Reminds me of a joke. What's brown and sticky? A stick.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And so the mud pool kind of settles down, it mellows out, and it starts to move away. Miles, you move over and you grab the bag, and you're kind of scraping the mud off the bag, and then you open the bag to have a look inside, and we'll find out what's in there next week.
No.
what?
Come on.
Damn it.
Precipitate all the fucking shit off me, that's for sure.
So,
I thought it was a shit.
Yeah, just make a fortitude check, guys. There's mud is in every.
Oh, natural 20, I'm all right.
Oh, see, the fortitude check is actually one of these things. Like the mud is actually going to make this thing a lot nicer.
Oh,
Yeah, it was going to stiffen your tail back up, but.
Mud of Ole.
With
With the glitter from the last one, it'll get.
I said we're inventing